Welcome to the show where the truth comes alive. St. James is here, so let's take a deep dive. Real talk, real vibes, it's the carnal church groove. Prelate in the house, watch the spirit move. The St. James Show, oh, here we go. Serving wisdom with a carnal flow. From the pulpit to the streets, we're keeping it real. Faith and life collide, that's the deal. Breaking down the walls, it's the church unfiltered. St. James preaching love, keeping hearts uplifted. Laugh, learn, grow, it's the vibe you'll respect. The carnal church sector, where we all connect. The St. James Show, the prelates here. Bold, uncut, bringing truth that's clear. Hit subscribe, take a seat, come through. It's the St. James Show, made just for you. The St. James Show.
What is going on? Welcome to the St. James Show. I am your host, your prelate, your apostle. I am your bishop on tonight. Happy Friday, everybody. TGIF. I am St. James. Welcome. As always, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you dropping in the sanctuary. But please make sure that you are hitting that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. Do share. Do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, hit the membership link in the bio of this video to join the membership. And as always, support us with your monetary support. Listen here. What's up? Dwayne Youngblood, can he get an attorney? Can he find one? Is there an attorney willing to take his pain that he's had for 30 years and go against Bishop T.D. Jakes? That's the question tonight, everybody. Can Dwayne Youngblood get an attorney? Seems to me that there's a problem. I don't know. Welcome. Who is up in the house? Mike Moore is here. Thank you for your support, sir. T. Davis is here. Thank you for being a member. Comet is in the building, probably about to start some shiznit. What's up, K. Rich? Good to see you. And Cece is in the building on tonight. Yes, another intro. What's up, Sean? Good to see you as well. You like that one, Bill? Okay, yeah, all right. J. Rochelle Chapman, good to see you. Thank you. Simon Style is in the building. Welcome, beautiful Simon Style. Terry Hicks is here. Thank you for your support. TJ Member is in the house. And also Joshua, a member, is in the house. And none other than Queen and Brock. Thank you for your support. And thank you for being a member of the St. James Show. P. Hall is here. Thank you for being a member as well. I appreciate all the members coming through. Angie member, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see here. Let's see who's else up in the building. Amazon is hiring, Youngblood. I hear there's a strike going on here. The block is on fire. The block is burning up. Oh, yes, it is, Ray. It is just burning to pieces. What's up, Princess? Thank you and Ray for being members here at the St. James Show, and also Lady Chaplain. We thank you for being a member as well. I tell you, What's up, Music Ministries? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good to see you in the chat as well. Listen, we got some action today, y'all. We're moving. As we know, Bishop T.D. Jakes is suing for defamation, libel, and all that unfortunate stuff. Mr. Dwayne Youngblood, and we all know who Dwayne Youngblood is. He's the one that came out and said, there was a missed kiss, there was a hug, and then he made me read a scripture. And for all of that, I want $6 million. And so he sends the letter with his attorney at the time, Tyrone Blackburn, to solicit 6 million smackers from Bishop T.D. Jakes. Well, that didn't go over too well. It didn't go over too well. So now, after the complaint was filed, we are awaiting Youngblood's response. So today, he gives not the response, but he gives a request on today. And yes, I've heard it. Oh, is that you? Okay. I didn't know that was you. What's up, B Heard? I didn't know that was you. D-Rock is in the building as well. I need you to, if I had any money for the B Heard, I'd have you down here Saturday, but you charge me a lot of money. I got to cut my losses sometime. But we're going to get this thing done. What's up, Giselle Wright? Thank you for being a member. Let's get into this. Let's get into this request that Dwayne Youngblood is putting before the judge. And of course, we know, well, we'll get into it, right? Let me pull it up here. Let me pull this bad boy out. Let me move you over here. Make sure that you have hit that like button, everybody. Do not come in here without hitting that like button for me, all right? Please do that for St. James. All right. So we have this letter that came through today through the courts, and it's a letter from Mr. Dwayne Youngblood, and we all know who he is, two-time pedo convicted in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Megan's Law Registry. So he says, dear Judge Stickman the Fourth, I am writing, and this is Dwayne Youngblood speaking, okay? So keep that in mind. This is Dwayne Youngblood speaking. All right. I am writing as the pro se defendant in the above captioned matter to respectfully request a 30-day extension to respond to the claimant and to file an anti-slap motion. Okay. He wants to file an anti-slap motion. All right. So let's really quickly bring up what an anti-slap motion is. Let me just bring that up. This is something that he would like to file. Okay. So what is an anti-slap? Short for strategic lawsuits against public participation. Slaps have become an all too common tool for intimidating and silencing criticism through expensive, baseless legal proceedings. Okay? Anti-slap laws are meant to provide a remedy to slap suits. Anti-slap laws are intended to prevent people from using courts and potential threats of a lawsuit to intimidate people who are exercising their First Amendment rights. That's all they're doing. In terms of reporting, news organizations and individual journalists can use anti-slap statutes to protect themselves from the financial threats of groundless defamation case, of a groundless defamation case brought by a subject of an enterprise or investigative story. Under most anti-slap statutes, the person sued makes a motion to strike the case because it involves speech or on a matter of public concern. The plaintiff then has the burden of showing a probability that they will prevail in the suit, meaning they must show that they have evidence that could result in a favorable verdict. If the plaintiff cannot meet this burden and the suit is dismissed through anti-SLAPP proceedings, many statutes allow defendants to collect attorney's fees from the plaintiff. So, are we here? Are we here? Are we understanding what this anti-SLAPP is now? All right, so let's get back into his request of the judge. Remember, this is a request. We still have to wait to see what the judge says, just like on Jake's side. They did a request for an expedited discovery process. So still waiting for the judge to do that. So he says he would like a 30-day extension to respond to the complaint and to file an anti-SLAPP motion. I am currently in the process of attempting to retain local counsel. Oh God. He is currently, y'all, in the process of attempting to retain local counsel. I don't think the Right Reverend Dwayne Youngblood thought this thing through before he hopped on a platform, told his story, and then sent a letter of a $6 million grab. I just don't think he thought it through. Cece says, if you ask me, Youngblood needs a slap. Perhaps, but we'll see. I don't know. All right. So he goes on to say, as I am only employed part-time. Oh God, this doesn't look good for somebody who doesn't have money, and it looks like an extortion and looks like a money grab. This doesn't look good. However, I am only employed part-time. Securing legal representation has proven to be financially challenging. Is that the only reason? I believe an extension would provide me with the necessary time to obtain appropriate representation and to prepare a thorough response and anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss. Second time he's mentioned this anti-SLAPP. Now, if you recall, on the document of the motion to expedite discovery that we read from Jake's camp, they offered him an extension, some extended time for him to get his response in. I'm not sure what that time frame. I don't know. I didn't read it, or I don't remember if they gave a specific time, like a month, 6 months, 2 weeks, a week. I'm not sure what they offered to him, but of course, if you remember, it was declined. Okay. It was declined. All right. Make sure you guys come in. As you come in, please hit that like button for me. I would appreciate it. Your Honor, I have unwavering confidence that the court will discern the lack of merit in the plaintiff's claims, which I firmly believe constitute a violation of my First Amendment rights. A violation, everybody, of his First Amendment right. So he had the right to come out, tell his story that may be damning and defaming and very embarrassing to an individual, and nothing can happen because it's under the First Amendment. That's his right. That's interesting. What's up, JP? He did turn down the extension, JP, but like I said, I don't know what that extension was that they actually were offered him. I'm not sure what that was. I don't know if it was 30 days. He's asked for 30 days now. I don't know what their extension time was. So that's a question. Maybe I'll go back into the thing later and figure out if they said anything, but I don't recall a time frame. The United States Constitution guarantees that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. This fundamental right underpins my ability to share my life experiences, truthful and supported by evidence, as protected speech. So he's saying that, he's telling the truth and it's supported by evidence. So let's get into some evidence that he says he has. Let's see. In support of my defense, I intend to present 7 sworn and notarized affidavits, which corroborate the facts I have shared for over 3 decades regarding the trauma I endured as a teenager as a result of the plaintiff's and other actions. These affidavits will be accompanied by a photographic evidence from the period in question, including images taken during the month I met Mr. Jakes and during events at the church where he preached. So I'm reading this, and he's telling the judge that, in my interpretation, I'm going to present to you affidavits of people that I have spoken to over my 30-year period about my experience that I had with Jakes. He didn't say that I'm going to present to you evidence of what I said was actually true. He said, I am going to present to you that I told my story to at least 7 people. That's what Mr. Youngblood is, I'm interpreted as. Not evidence, but just some proof that I told my story to 7 people. In support of my defense, I intend to present 7. Okay, we did that. Okay, okay, good. During the events, okay. Additionally, I will provide documentation of claimants I made to the senior bishop of Higher Ground Always Abounding Assemblies, of which Mr. Jakes is vice bishop. These complaints include a conversation facilitated by Senior Bishop Sherman Watkins between myself and Mr. Jakes during a visit to my church between 1992 and 1993. At that meeting, I directly confronted Mr. Jakes regarding his actions, and he made a revealing admission that supports my claims. Bishop Watkins, could you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I do. You sit down and we're going to. Now, Bishop Watkins, do you recall a conversation that was had between you and Dwayne Youngblood back in 1902 and blah, 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 blah? No, Your Honor, I don't. Mr. Jakes, could you come before the court? Blah, blah, blah. I swear, Do you recall a conversation that you had with Dwayne Youngblood acknowledging what you said, what he's saying you did to him, and then a conversation that you all had with Bishop Watkins? Do you recall that, Mr. Jakes? No, Your Honor, that never happened. Let's get back to this. All right. It is important to emphasize that I have expressed concerns about these events spanning multiple decades in the late 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s. Despite my consistent and public recounting of these incidents, Mr. Jakes did not see fit to file a defamation lawsuit against me during any of those years. Because you didn't get on a huge platform of somebody who has been talking about Jakes for a year and about some some real questionable situations. That's why the defamation case didn't come then in the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. Comment said, if you didn't record it, it didn't never happen. My God. This inaction suggests that Mr. Jakes himself recognized the validity of my statements or deemed them unworthy of legal challenge at that time. He's telling Jakes when he should have filed the case, lawsuit against him. Why he doing it now? Why are you doing it now, Bishop? Furthermore, it is telling that Mr. Jakes actively participated in my 2004 ordination as a bishop in the higher ground assemblies, blah, 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 serving as one of the consecrators, despite his full awareness of my public statements about his actions. Well, first of all, why did you even allow him to be one of the bishops that ordained you if you feel that he violated you in some type of way? That would be my question. Why didn't you tell the bishop, I don't want him to? Well, my bad. You did accuse Bishop Watkins of some stuff too. So why did you even get consecrated in this organization? I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right. They groomed you. My bad. Serving as one of the consecrated despite the full awareness of the public statements about his action. These facts, so you say, highlight the baseless nature of the current lawsuit and further affirm my assertions of truth. Boy, I don't care how big words you use, how you put them together and throw them in and throw them out. Lorraine says, because he's full of a bunch of bull crap, if you ask me. That's what Lorraine said. All right, Lorraine. The legal principle at stake in this case is grounded in precedent established by a New York Times company versus Sullivan, 376 U.S. 254, 1964. He then went back to a 1964 case law, y'all, which provides robust protection for individuals expressing opinions or recounting personal experiences, even if they are controversial, provided they are truthful or expressed without actual malice. Furthermore, in Hustler magazine versus Falwell, the Supreme Court reaffirmed that speech about public figures related to matters of public concern enjoys heightened protection under the First Amendment. The United States Supreme Court decision emphasized the paramount importance of safeguarding freedom of expression, particularly in cases involving significant public interest or personal narratives. Old Lorraine, we've spoken on his criminal cases a number of times, baby, a number of times. We'll pull him up tonight. I respectfully request the opportunity to include photographic evidence with my forthcoming filings to support my assertions. This includes, y'all ready? A photograph of myself as a teenager taken during the month I met Mr. Jakes. What'd you say there, JP? That's interesting that he has researched legal precedents and sightings U.S. case law. Well, listen. That's him as a teenager, y'all. Now, remember, he said he met Jakes when he was about 18 or 19. Later on in the video, he tried to mess around with the numbers, mess around with the ages. But in the initial one, he said, he said 18, 19. Let's go on. A photograph of myself performing at the church where Mr. Jakes was preaching during the relevant time. This proves absolutely nothing, in my opinion. This absolutely proves nothing, in my opinion. Got little white shoes on. Photographs documenting my 2004 ordination ceremony with Mr. Jakes officiating. Okay. All right. Okay. Are you guys convinced yet of inappropriateness? Shut up, Ray. Never mind, Ray. Never mind. Never mind. I contend that the lawsuit represents an attempt to silence me and suppress my First Amendment rights. It is neither unlawful nor defamatory to truly share one's life experiences, as I did during my interviews on October 28th and November 3rd. Pause. Hit the like button, everybody. Pause, please. He says he contends that the lawsuit represents an attempt to silence me and suppress my First Amendment right. But according to the complaint, you gave the $6 million demand, or you won't be silent. Now you're coming back to say that now the lawsuit is coming to silence you. But you wanted $6 million, according to the complaint, to silence you, to stop you from running on platforms and doing a part 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's what you were talking about, so they say in the demand letter. But now Bishop Jakes is here to silence you. Plaintiff Jakes has used his position to harass and target me throughout the years. And as recently as November 3rd, had his son, Jermaine Jakes, now he's saying Jakes had his son, Jermaine Jakes, reach out to me and threaten me on social media. This threat is what led me to seek out legal counsel. Put a pin there, y'all. All right? Hold on. Let me see something. Casual Conversation says he wasn't officiating. The head bishop officiated, and as a vice bishop, he was in ecclesiastical position. He may have not agreed with the ordination, but obeyed protocol. All right. All right. Yeah, Giselle, thank you. We need to remind the congregation, Giselle, right, that it was $6 million that he asked for, or he'll continue to tell his story. Y'all remember he was trying to write a book too. Y'all remember that? Okay. I just want y'all, I don't want y'all to don't waver in the faith. All right. Tam said he doesn't have proof of anything, but they are not on trial. Furthermore, he hasn't even filed his answer yet. You don't know if he had a part demand that you don't know if had a part in the demand. So, who you talking about? Oh, I rewrite that. Who this man? Oh, I don't know. All right. The threat. Okay, let's see that. The threat is what led me to seek out legal counsel, as I was and am in fear of my life and safety. Now he the victim. Upon information and belief, Bishop Jakes and his family have a reputation of having individuals who challenge them or expose their dirty dealings disappeared through the years. So this is his, I guess, his evidence of Jermaine D. Jakes been sent by Bishop Jakes to harass him or what have you. It says you might be in dangerous territory, Dwayne. Just be careful. Well, maybe he was just, concerned about your welfare. This guy wouldn't be I find it very hard to believe that this guy would actually threaten a bumblebee. Not this guy. Not this Jermaine Jakes. He has pretty nails, nice glasses. He couldn't harm a fly. I don't see him wanting to get those nails dirty or chipped or anything. I can't believe it. I won't believe it. That was a threat? I mean to believe that was a threat, in your opinion. Oh God. Lorraine said he has no shame, violated minors with proof, and he wants to be seen. Sexually assault people who have convicted of quiet church house mouth after they convict. You would think they want to be quiet. Did he file a police report on that inbox? No, Truthology. He sent a demand letter for $6 million after he got that supposed threat. Right. Was it hacked? Was it really from him? Was it AI? I don't know. You said, oh, we had a time over there on CT Conscious last night. Sharja said CTV was confident with this mess. These folks are insane. Oh, me and Conscious had it out yesterday. We had it out. He accused me of being a part of the Jakes camp. What kind of an accusation is that? Oh, my goodness. I'm just reading documents and putting 2 and 3 and 5 together, trying to figure it out in my mind, and it don't make sense. Some of this stuff just don't make sense, y'all. All right. So he says that this young man with the beautiful nails slipped into an inbox and threatened him. So after the threat, no, he didn't go to the police. No, he did not file a police report. What he did was figure out where Tyrone Blackburn was so they can send a letter of $6 million request, or they going to keep on talking. There you go. That's right, Inspired. St. James Truth Camp. We're in the Truth Camp over here. You said his dates are off. His photos are off date-wise. You better get in his inbox, Marcellus. Tell him he might want to get a lawyer. He might want to. So this is the threat that he says. Let me move Mr. Jermaine off the grid. This is the threat. He says what led him to after this threat on November 3rd, then comes the $6 million grab. In conclusion, I respectfully request that the court grant me a 30-day extension to secure legal representation and to prepare and file my anti-SLAPP motion to dismiss. The third time he's mentioned this. I appreciate the court's understanding and consideration of my circumstances. Sincerely, Dwayne Youngblood. What happened to Apostle? What happened to Bishop? What happened to Elder? Now you just Dwayne. Get your titles in there too. I thought you was an apostle. I seen some videos where you called yourself an apostle. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think this? I think the poor guy, and I'm using that really loosely here, he's definitely bitten off more than he can chew. I had the assumption, and I'm still going to ride with it, that this with this 30-day request, they offered him an extension. Jake's team offered him an extension to get his response in, and he turned them down. Again, I don't know what time frame they were offering, but now he's requesting a 30-day. The judge still has to agree to it, just like the judge still has to agree to the expedited motion on the discovery deal. That still is yet to be dealt with, So what do you guys think? D-Rock said he's confused. Truthology said he actually has to present as a scared victim because the allegations against him and others are very serious. They're extremely serious. Yes, Tashi. Somebody's still communicating with podcaster because this info was leaked to us last night. Oh, was it? Okay. Well, I remember that they were saying that he is going to write, because he said there was people with affidavits, and if he comes, okay, you right, Tashi. Maybe he still have communication with everyone involved. I don't know. Jermaine got multiple pages. This one must have been hacked. Yeah, Maury, it might have been. It might have. You're right. It might have been. Oh. He is very confused. You need the allegation photos. The allegation photos. What? These? That don't prove nothing. These? You can get these, okay. I don't understand what these pictures mean. I really don't. No clue. You said CTV, he knew? Conscious, did you know? Conscious know a lot. Conscious said he got evidence. Doon, evidence. Do you have the evidence? You think Pluto was circling around the moon? Oh, it's circling around the moon, all right. I'm just trying to figure out, in all seriousness, y'all, this request is ridiculous to me. If this request is anything like the explosive response that we've been promised, it's going to be extremely sad. Do you agree with me? Because he's already said what he's going to put in his response. He's going to have affidavits of people that he's told his story to in the year. He didn't say he was going to show proof of what he said about what Jakes did to him actually happened. He said all he's going to do is provide the courts with some affidavits of some people that he talked to within the last 30 years. The hug, the kiss, the photos. So was his ordination after Jakes tried to? Yes. The ordination, the ordination came later on in life, Dorothy. Came later on in life. This was way after. So the pictures are to prove proximity. Okay. That's what we want. We want the bubble bath photos. Marcella says, now you realize why this twice convicted ASer has gone to jail twice. Yeah. Because he's smarter than the average bear. And it seems to me that he cannot get an attorney, everyone. That's my assumption. He says in the beginning of this, I'm currently in the process of attempting to retain local counsel. However, as I am only employed part-time, Securing legal representation has proven to be financially challenging. But when you send that $6 million request, you weren't thinking about if this goes all wrong. If this goes wrong and they perceive it as a shakedown, they perceive it as conspiracy to grab money, they conceive it as extortion, what in the world am I going to do then? You just saw an opportunity to grab some money, in my opinion. Now you want to threaten that you want to file anti-SLAPP. And I read to you what the anti-SLAPP is. And from my thoughts, okay. And now he's talking about First Amendment. He must have grabbed that from one of the lawyers or social media lawyers or somebody told him about his First Amendment rights. Get real. Get real. Okay, Marcellus. This is crazy, y'all. Regina, I hear they over there messing with you. Well, Regina from the Juice Radio Show. Proximity isn't illegal. So I don't know why this would be included in his non-answer. I think he's using these documents to gain more sympathy and remorse. To be honest, I don't believe it and not going for it at all. Well, I'm going to introduce you to somebody, y'all, that believes everything that Youngblood is saying. He said he's going to be giving to his drive, his fund to regain counsel. Put your glorious hands together for none other than Mad Church.
And I knew you was going to do that. That craziness. Listen here. I want everybody in the chat to listen to me very carefully. Butterflies in the sky.
Listen.
We can go twice as high. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. What we just read is a Reading Rainbow once upon a time inside of Masterpiece Theater load of bull crap.
Yeah.
I'm just going to simply say this. I got a couple of things because one of the chat persons said before I came up, this is to help with proximity. Proximity to what?
Yeah, I know. I just, y'all speak your mind, but that doesn't mean that it's not true. But yeah.
Wait a minute. And I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the statement. I want you to hear me very carefully. You have to prove what you have stated in the public, and you have to prove those things. He said that TD Jakes tried to kiss him 40 years ago. Unless he has an audio recording on a Betamax machine. Right. Or an old VHS crank 'em up video. He's going to have a very difficult time proving this, St. James.
And this measured man, it might be Dwayne himself, but he keeps, he's in defense. He's convinced that what Dwayne is going to present is going to shock us all, Marcellus. He says the inbox messages will cause some issues because he's going to show patterns. Okay,
now here's the thing about the inbox messages. First of all, let me just say this. Where do I begin with this?
It's just so much.
His dates are off, first of all. Don't take my word for it. Go back and read the letter again. Read when he says he encountered Bishop T.D. Jakes,
right,
and when all of this stuff happened. No, if you read the dates that he has on this paperwork, that is 20 years ago, not 40 years ago. Okay, let's start there. Okay, just do the math, ladies and gentlemen, and then look at the photographs and the dates that he's claiming that these photographs are supposed to coincide with all of this stuff. The stuff is off St. James.
Yeah.
And people just need to be aware of it. It's just stupid. The whole thing is dumb. Now, these affidavits, you got to first of all hope that the judge says that information is going to be admissible.
Admissible first, right? You can bring whatever you want to bring. That doesn't mean it's going to be in the case.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not germane to the case. If
Yeah.
the stuff isn't germane to the case, I'm not quite sure why he thinks this is going to be
Well,
some.
in his mind, he thinks it is because he just wants, and I think he's missing it though. It's like, I'm going to prove to you I've been saying this for years. But even though you've been saying it for years, where's the proof of what you've been saying? You haven't
Right.
produced proof of it. You
Well,
can been saying it for 50 years
right.
until you provide proof. Just because you told it to somebody means absolutely nothing, in my opinion.
Well, based on the leg of his first interview, it would have been around 1989 based on his age. That is correct, sir, because that's why I keep trying to tell y'all the dates are off. The dates are off. And that means the photographs that he's going to present are going to be off. All of this stuff is not going to coincide with the stuff that he has said. And it doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out. It doesn't take a law degree to figure this out. It just takes, some critical thinking. That's all it takes.
Right.
And
this is a good point too. I don't mean to interrupt you, but Trudali said Jakes didn't allege that he wasn't around him. I didn't hear anything that Jake said he wasn't around him. So he's trying to prove that he was around Jake. I don't think we've ever heard anything. I know we haven't heard much from Jakes about this, but I don't think Jakes is that foolish to say I've never been around him.
But just because I'm the vice bishop of an organization where something might have happened to you in does not necessarily make me legally culpable for those things happening to you. Because if you guys listen to this letter and pay attention to what I told y'all several videos ago, they keep moving the pendulum regarding this case.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention, it just moves every single time. Now he's talking about he brought it back to the old man who's 90 something years old. What's his name?
Yeah.
That dude. So they don't,
Watkins.
He's trying to wrap Jakes up with Watkins or whatever happened to him in that organization. And it's just the whole thing.
And do you think
ridiculous.
Watkins is going to say, yeah, I remember the conversation you told me?
He's 90 something years old. He ain't going to remember.
Even if he's not going against Bishop Jakes.
And they don't have to say they remember this stuff if you don't have any other proof.
They don't.
Say it's what you can prove.
Yeah.
I love when you looked in the camera, St. James, and said, no, I don't remember. No.
Well, that's because that's what's going to happen after all of the swearing in, after all the religion is going to go out the door, and all the thing I need to do the right thing. What I'm going to do, I ain't going to remember. I'm going to get a little bit amnesiatic, and we're going to move on. And it's nothing they say is going to be admissible.
Absolutely. And I think a real Tashi is good on this. Let me see what Layra Marie says. Jake's legal documents did not say that. It said that he didn't essay prison bay. Well, pretty much. Pretty much.
Leah, you a fool.
And it's real Tashi is saying correct. I think he may have trouble finding a lawyer who would even take this case.
That's my issue. Not only is it a money issue, Marcellus, but I believe they're saying, give me the facts. That's all you got? See you later.
Yeah, bye-bye. Go stand in the food stamp line because if you keep this
and what they do, they get on on Pesa or whatever. They figure out who would I be going up against?
Yeah.
Oh, not that legal team.
Yeah. Now, but I want to say this because, I know you've been on a YouTube world tour and I saw you the other night.
No. I'm not the tour. There's other people that be on tour. I just went on a little vacation for a day.
You went on a vacation. Okay. Well, of course, my moderators are going to make me aware and everybody was like, oh my God. I said, well, let me explain something to you. First of all, nobody, and I don't know how many times we're going to have to say this, St. James. Nobody's repping for TD Jakes.
No, right.
If something comes out in this document and this paperwork, I'm going to open up a can of what on him as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But as far as what has been presented to us thus far regarding this idiot, ladies and gentlemen, all of this makes no sense. And I'm looking into this camera and I'm telling you guys, based on what this information this man has submitted to us thus far, it is not going to help him. It's not going to help him. It's not going to help him. I just want you all to understand. It ain't going to work. It's not going to work. I don't care if he has 32 affidavits from 32 different other people. If it's not in connection with TD Jakes, it has nothing to do with what he's being sued for.
But there's, and they are hanging their hats upon trying to prove a pattern of or whatever of how Jakes has interacted with. No, well, actually, it don't have nothing to do with that. Well, he said that. Well, one of the people said that was going to be in the response. He didn't say that was going to be in the response per this request. He said what he's going to provide. I'm just going to provide some people that I've said I've told this information to.
Ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work.
No.
Like I said, just because you went around doing a Masterpiece Theater tour does not mean it's going to get you $6 million.
No.
Now let me also say this, because I heard something on this podcast from the YouTube uploader. Listen to me very, very carefully. If TD Jakes did pay someone else off, that doesn't mean you're going to get $6 million for what you told and the stuff you said.
Right.
Okay. So let's just be very, very clear. And so all of this, we can bring you proof that he's paying people off. Listen to me. Those are other people. It's not this dumb story. It's not this stupid story.
According to them, it's not this extortionist, alleged extortionist. We're talking about that. You're so right, Marcellus. Okay, say that he has. We're talking about this $6 million grab. We want to know where it originated from, who are the co-conspirators, who sat down and who conjured this plan of $6 million grab together. That's what this is about.
And this is going to be an epic fail. To be honest with you guys, I really don't even see the judge giving him another 30 days.
I'm thinking.
Sometimes the judge will do it because when you're the broke one, the judge will have some pity on you and they will go ahead and give you some grace. So normally the judge will do that. And, so I'll go there with that. But let me just say this. The gas is still going to be pressed for the co-conspirators.
We've said that. And I said that last night on Conscious. I said, Dwayne Youngblood, they don't care nothing about Dwayne Youngblood. His name is mud. Nobody believes him. Even if that happened, my thing is with that, there was nothing out of his mouth that said there was actually a physical issue, a physical touching, anything like that. So that's a moot point at this point.
Right.
They want to know exactly what they put in that complaint and in that motion. That's what they want. They want Larry Reid's information. They want to know who he knows. They want emails. They want how he's getting his money off of these videos that from the interviews. They want all that information. They are trying to maybe follow a trail of where this may have come from. I don't know what they all want, but they want that.
Well, and I agree. I'm going to give you another scenario here. Let's think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Where did Tyrone Blackburn, whatever his name is.
Blackburn, you right.
Yeah, I call him Black Ass. But anyway, Tyrone Blackburn. Where did Tyrone Blackburn get in conjunction with a man who says now he cannot afford a lawyer? How did you reach this particular lawyer who then decided to put this letter together and say that you had a case and present that to TD Jakes' office? And then all of a sudden now he has disappeared. And now you're in a situation where you have no legal representation, but you want the judge to believe that this has not been a conspiracy from the beginning. Any analytical mind would definitely take a look at all of the parameters of how all of this has begun. And I would nail all of you jokers. I really would. Every last one of you.
It's going to be interesting. And, I still think people around here saying that it's not going to fly, Now, Larry kind of alluded to his attorney told him you can go if you want, or you may not, if you don't have to go. So he kind of alluded to that today. If he's subpoenaed, he might go, he might not go. I don't know.
What does he think? He's Donald Trump? He thinks he can just disobey a subpoena if he chooses to do so?
He has an attorney.
Okay, well, let me just put it to you this way. That just goes to show you the stupidity and immaturity of those individuals. We're supposed to be the dumb ones over here, St. James. Yeah. So if these people are saying these types of things, then they're not using their scruples. You're not Donald Trump. You don't get to defy a subpoena. That's not how that works.
And you know what? I don't mean any harm, but you don't think that the attorneys have thought even that path? Well, first of all, if you're out on the internet telling what your strategy,
Right.
I don't know how smart that is.
Right.
I don't care if you go this way. I wouldn't be on the internet telling what I may or may not do. I wouldn't be speaking on this case in regards to me, because I don't want anybody to pick up any seeds that are dropping.
And there's a lot of seeds that's been dropping. And let me just say this to St. James. I just think these people should most certainly be very cautious of the words that comes out of their mouth when you can say things like, I know for a fact that TD Jakes is doing this and doing that, because they are listening, they are watching,
yes, they
and
are.
you most certainly going to find yourself in a tough spot.
I tried to get my brother last night. I said, listen, don't say that. Do not say that. Say alleged. I don't care, because when you're saying you have proof, you are opening up yourself to get a subpoena to come bring in your proof, because you're saying that they have been paid. He's been paying people off. We heard that for a long time, and then we heard alleged later.
Right. Well, and these people have been claiming that they've had all this evidence for so long, but they haven't brought nothing to the public, not one shred of evidence.
Nothing.
Let me say something about this paying Jakes paying people off. Unless Jakes wrote in the 4th section of the check, this is for SAing you, and for the SA assault, you don't know why that check was written, and you don't know why that check was given or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're just, all of that is speculation. It is conjecture. It is all of these people trying to put all of this stuff out here. And to be quite frank with you, I've worn a little tired with it. That's why I'm just focused on the legal documents and the stuff that has been presented. Because what we're reading today, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic case of masterpiece theater.
Yeah.
It's masterpiece theater, and I just want to
bad masterpiece theater. No, it's bad. It's bad.
I don't care when you sang in the choir. I don't care that you put up these pictures of Bishop Jakes and them in an ordination service. None of that means anything. Just because you were there means nothing. It does not bolster your claim. It does not assist as evidentiary value. I don't think it has any evidentiary value whatsoever.
Right.
And you're going to find yourself having to stand before a judge and give an account for the mess that you have said. And let me tell you something. When you stand in front of a judge, it's almost tantamount to standing before the Lord.
Almost. It's Judgment Day. It's Judgment Day. You know,
so you better be prepared to give an account of the stuff that you have said. And you and that YouTube uploader, y'all come on and bring yourself the podcaster. Y'all get ready. I'm sorry. I'm going to laugh at this because this is ridiculous.
Well, it's a joke. When I read it earlier and I looked at it earlier and I was just trying to figure out, really, Marcellus, I was really trying to look in this thing. And you're talking anti-SLAPP, and I think AT2 said in the thing that anti-SLAPP is maybe different from the different states that it is. But my thing is, I mean, but you still have to prove allegations that you have put against somebody.
Well, and not to give too much away, it's going to be very easy to prove malice on behalf of the podcaster, because this has been going on for over a year, and you can clearly be able to see a pattern of behavior here, as well as with Youngblood coming on behind this. So I the only thing I want to say, you all pay attention to the dates that he's given. He's gonna have trouble with these dates. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
It's like he couldn't recall how he left there or how he got there. You know, there's certain things that he can't recall, which is understandable in my opinion, because it was so long ago. But it's like these particular details, the really damning stuff you remember, but the stuff that we asked you to kind of put the puzzle together, you don't really remember.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting situation. That's all I'm gonna say on that, St. James. I think thus far you've done a great job of presenting this information. And first of all of you guys need to hit the like button if you're over here. You need to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that thus far. And make sure you support St. James, as well as all of the individuals who are producing the commentary that is at least trying to give you an objective way of looking at this. Now, I've often said to you as well, if TD Jakes gets caught up in this with a fish hook, we're going to roast him too.
Listen, we're going to continue with the content.
Exactly. We're going to roast him too.
Continue with the content and whatever the wind blows. But my thing, the wind is not blowing in the way, in my opinion, of Dwayne Youngblood at this moment.
Well, the wind's blowing, but it's blowing some stinky mess to our nostrils.
Yeah.
It smells like boo-boo. And we can smell the boo-boo, and it's like, no, we're not falling for it. So
Leah says, well, could Prison Bay have more? You are killing me with that. Could Prison Bay have more evidence, or is it time now to release their evidence? I think if he had actually more evidence, he probably would have produced that or said that in this request for a 30-day extension. But his evidence, as we see it right now, Leah, his evidence is, I told these other 7 people, but sometime in the last 30 years. My story has pretty much stayed the same. I told them. So this is my proof that I'm not lying.
Yeah, you're going to make me go back and read that letter. Did he even say that those 7 people had been essayed?
What do you mean?
Like, is he saying that the 7 people in this affidavit have had some sort of essay situation?
No, let's pull it up. No, it don't say nothing like that.
So what is he expecting these 7 people to do? Just because you told 7 people the same lie,
here you go.
It's supposed to prove?
In support of my defense, I intend to present 7 sworn and notarized affidavits which corroborate the facts I have shared for over 3 decades regarding the trauma I endured.
Stop right there. Where are the effing facts?
Where's the fact?
You haven't produced any factual evidence to prove what you have said. So what are you talking about, sir?
Yeah.
And see, this is what frustrates me and gets me to cussing, because I'm like, dude, do you really believe that people are this stupid? I know that. And see, this is the thing about some preachers and pastors. Y'all are so used to being able to preach from the pulpit and say whatever you want and never be challenged by the crap you say. So now when you have to write it down and you have to submit it and people get to read it and pick it apart, now you're just sitting there thinking, oh man, what did I do? Dude, this can be picked apart. This has so many holes in it. I can drive 1,000,000 school buses through this stuff.
Our character witnesses proof. I'm so lost. What's the big evidence? We're still. I think that's been the plan, though. That's been the plan for about a year, is to damage and in my opinion, to damage the character of Bishop Jakes, to show Bishop Jakes in a nasty, perverted, gay light. That's been the plan. So, and then that was talked about in the preparation. Well, if he sues, he's going to drag all these other people in here that have experience with Jakes in an essay manner or whatever. And then there was that other stuff that Conscience was talking about that I ain't even going to mention on this here channel. Talk about of what possible could come up and all this other stuff. And I'm like, listen.
Well, we've been dealing, not to cut you off, we've been dealing with a possible for over a year.
That's what I'm saying. I was just going to say, but again, it's another pie in the sky of evidence that never drops. And like I told Conscience yesterday, though, I said, if people have told you this and then you say they didn't want you to say nothing, they didn't want to be interviewed, they didn't want nothing to do with it after they so-called told you, what do you think's going to happen when he calls himself trying to drag people into court? They're not going to be on his side.
All right, let's read what Ray is saying here. To be fair, what he say? To be fair, though, Pam pointed out that we don't know what was written / included in the demand letter that could be damning towards Jakes. Okay, all right. So let's say here.
Yeah, that is
okay,
because they didn't go into detail.
Well, that is true. But whatever was and Ray, the good point, but whatever was in that demand letter it sparked enough gusto in TD Jakes to go ahead and file a lawsuit, which signifies to those of us who are on the outside looking in, he didn't think that the things that were in that demand letter had
Right.
very much merit. So
Right.
then he decided to go ahead and press the gas on the lawsuit. So if TD Jakes ain't concerned about what's in the letter, then chances are I don't think we as the public should be that much concerned about what's in the letter either.
Because and to go along that vein, if it had been something really damning, shouldn't there have been a negotiation possibly?
Oh, yeah, they should have had some types of talks, but who was he going to have talks to? A lawyer that wasn't even licensed in the state where the information was being presented. Also, a lawyer who is not even saying has gone on record as being the attorney of record for this particular individual who's making the claims. You see in TD Jakes' responses, he said, look, we reached out to the lawyer to get in contact with him about his client. He told us to kick rocks and to hit the pavement
and
pound sand because he wasn't even our client. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just
but I can see where Pam is going with it if she said that. But and Pam, Pam is a defense attorney.
Yeah,
so
she's an attorney.
She knows the fight for that defendant. But my thing is, I believe if it were something really damning to him in that letter, there would have been some kind of negotiation. They didn't even say that. They didn't even say that anybody, because I believe if they had a call after that demand letter, then Larry would have said it because he says everything.
Well, and then you guys keep in mind that the YouTube uploader, better known as Dr. Dingleberry, he hasn't been, he kept saying, oh, well, he was in talks with Jake's team. Y'all keep that in mind. See, because there's so much stuff being thrown out here. We're forgetting a lot of stuff. This YouTuber said he's been in contact with Jake's team, and he's been going back and forth over a year with Jake's team. So if you've been doing with all of this stuff going back and forth with the team, have you not been in negotiations and talking with them behind the scenes and hooking them up with Youngblood in throughout this entire process? Or were you talking to the Jake's team in regards to Manasseh? And see, this is why you guys don't need to mix the two together, because they're trying to confuse you. There's so much mud in this situation. It's ridiculous.
And this is important too, D-Rock, and it's so important because it even if he's telling the truth, he can't win without money and a real good attorney. That's a big problem in this whole scenario. That's what I was saying. You send the letter, but you have to realize, what if this letter don't work out and he sue me, what am I going to do after that? Do I have that attorney ready? Was that conversation discussed with Tyrone Blackburn? Because we know Tyrone as being a settlement attorney, kind of, not a trial, not going to trial. So was that discussed with that? Because if he's telling 100% truth at this juncture, if you cannot afford an attorney against these folks, he's going to lose.
But according to any legal document, what TD Jakes is asking for Youngblood and for these people to come forward with now is their evidence. He's saying, put your cards on the table. Bring us what you're claiming that you have. And they have yet to produce anything. Air bubbles, nothing burger. It's all of this has been a nothing burger. That's all I want to say. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to come up. All I'm gonna tell you is you all stay vigilant. Take a look at the dates. Make the dates make sense to you in your mind, and that should clear up to you what we're dealing with here. And to Dwayne Youngblood, I don't have no more time for your story time. I would rather go sit in a classroom with drag queens and have them to read to me than to listen to the stories that you're telling.
That would be more entertaining.
It would be so much more entertaining. I don't care to listen to your stories anymore, you or your brother. And if this is all you got, as I said before, sir, your ass is grass and TD Jakes is the lawnmower. Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Marcellus. Make sure you guys are giving him a click and view over there at Mad Church Disease. I will put the link in the chat if anybody else wants to come up and have give your short opinion on it. Let me pin that so it won't. I keep doing that. All right. Somebody gotta make another comment. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll pin the link just for a little while. Listen, someone said something about bias. I think TJ said this was too biased. She is too biased. You said, oh, I understand what you're saying now. Oh, okay. I got it, TJ. Listen, I'll be trying to figure out what I'm going to say or how I'm going to say it. I think it's important through all the commentary, through all of the opinions that are told, it's important to actually continue to realize what's being presented in front of us, what's been presented to us over a year ago, and take all of this in consideration according to what we're presented with now with this lawsuit. We have to take every video that we heard about TD Jakes into consideration. What was said in those videos, how they were said, maybe the context of how they were said. We have the right to consider everything that has already been presented before us. We're not going to pick and choose what we're going to throw out and include with this. We're going to include everything that we can and apply it to what's being presented to us. We cannot now backpedal and back up and say, well, we're not going to consider. No, we're going to consider it all to make a kind of to formulate an opinion on our own. And of course, these are all opinions. I'm not an attorney. I'm not in the lawsuit. I don't want to be in the lawsuit. So I'm not going to make any statements that would be damning to me as a blogger. I just don't think it. Let me see. I don't think it is smart for me to do that. Let's bring up his. Someone asked about his. There it is. About his charges. Someone asked about his charges. Let's do it. Here it is, right here. Let me get in here. We're going to bring up the charges of Dwayne Youngblood. Where are we at? Oh, offender search right here. Let's do it by name. Do it by name. That should come up really easy. He's quite the popular guy. All right. And we got it. All right. Let me make sure because I don't want to give out any information that I should not give out. All right. But of course, this is on the Megan's Law of Philadelphia. All right. Let's go through this here. This is Pastor Dwayne Eric Youngblood. And we have all the information. Let's do offenses. I want to make sure that they're not okay. And as you can see, it looks like there's 3 different ones here, if I'm reading it correctly. We have the earliest one was 2002 SA. And it was the conviction date was March 3rd, 2008. And then the other offense looks like it was another SA, November 30th, 2002. And he was also convicted on, looks like this one happened and then 30 days later. This one, and then 30 days later, he did another one. That was 10:30 and then 11:30, and he got convicted. And it says, is victim minor? Yes. My only question, and I don't know how to kind of read this deal here, but then my issue is like up here, when you go up to here, corruption of minors. This was on May 5th, 2013, and then he was convicted on December 15, 2014. Then it says, is victim minor? It said no. So I was trying to figure out, are they speaking of as of today? Is the victim a minor? I don't know. The case while on, yeah. You thought it was going to be easy money. Thank you for reminding us who. Yeah, I need to remind you guys who you're dealing with here. This is who we're dealing with. So after reading all of those fancy words that he put together, and he's talking about his rights, his First Amendment rights. Well, did the youngsters tell you not to do what you did to them? They had a right to tell you no as well, or did you? As they say, corruption of minors. Did you trick them, maybe, into it? So we have to keep remembering what we're dealing with here, okay? That's who we're dealing with. Let's look at photographs. This is who we're dealing with. And when you come to a fight, you got to know that everything is coming. They're bringing the kitchen sink. They're bringing the tub. They're bringing everything into the fight. So, fortunately for Bishop Jakes, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have these pictures. He doesn't have but you do. But Dwayne does. So all this is coming into the fight. You're talking about character and what you can bring out some more people of what Jakes has done. Okay, but if we go back here, we can actually list your offenses. We can list them. 5 smooth stones. Come on, Leah. So, just remember who we're dealing with here and why this may not go for him, because you're dealing with character, you're dealing with patterns, and you're dealing with, different things like that. So just like they're saying, Jakes has a pattern of doing this to people. Well, you have a pattern too that they depicted in the complaint, and that anybody with a computer or a phone, a smartphone or whatever, can look up you and your pattern. Okay? So that's the only thing that, that's what he's up against. So I just want y'all to remember. Do you remember? I am. Okay, but you have to separate the creator from the case, then reattach the bias to each. Okay. What'd you say? I was somebody better go tell. Oh, don't even mention that name. She may come over here and try to cuss me out. All right, y'all. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of present that to you guys tonight, just to let you know this is a next step into the lawsuit. We need to sit back and see what the judge actually says in regards to allowing this 30-day. The judge doesn't have to, but he probably, as Marcellus says, he probably will, because we know even in Jives' case, the judge kind of was lenient on Jives and gave him some time and gave him some this and that and gave him the opportunity because he didn't have counsel. So, of course, I believe that judges and even the attorneys on the other end would rather deal with other attorneys, instead of dealing with a pro se or somebody doing it on their own, because from what he wrote down, y'all, it ain't clicking. It's just not all there. Two time. Yeah. Well, I don't know who thought who was going to get a payout, but I think that the attorneys for TD Jakes are trying to figure out who in the world thought they were going to get a payout and who had their hand out. Okay. You said I should thank you because I've been wanting to see that. That's the record. Let the record reflect. Let the record reflect. You said it seems like he would have this together since it's been 30 years. That's what I said. The stones, like Leah said, they didn't pick the right 5 stones. You would have thought he would have been collecting the nice smooth stones throughout the years because he's had this testimony for 3 decades, as he says. But he didn't quite figure out, if this letter thing don't work and they sue my ass, what in the world am I going to do then? You had Blackburn. I don't know what that conversation was. I don't know. Don't care. But all I know is Blackburn is somewhere in La La Land because he's not going to get any money. And then somebody said, well, maybe, I think Conscious maybe I said, somebody said, well, maybe Blackburn is going to help him write it or whatever. But we can see, ain't nobody helped him write that. They couldn't have. No attorney. Maybe a jackleg, but no attorney actually helped him. Couldn't have helped him write that. Yeah. You said, so one victim was a minor and one was an adult, or both were minor. No, they were both minors. I think that said when it says, I think that means, are they a minor now? I think that's what that means. And if they're a minor now, they're really young when he did that. Really young. Yeah. So I don't know. So you have to file that 6 minutes. My. Yeah, so listen, we're going to figure this out. We're going to, figure out what's next to come up the pike, and we'll deal with it at that time. Oh, yes, we will. Yeah, Ray, that is extremely important to remember, y'all. Do you think those two were a two and done? I don't know. He's very evasive on a lot of things you ask him. And Blackbird said he was not representing him. Was he even, did he say that? Was he representing him in regards to that letter that was issued? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, all right, everybody, I have a Christmas party that I am going to this evening. So I have to get ready for that, figure all that stuff out. And so I hope that you would consider being a support to this platform right now, $ the St. James Show, or $ St. James Show for Cash App. Our Zelle and PayPal is the St. James Show at att.net. And then Venmo is $ the St. James Show. So make sure that you are in the number of supporting us on this platform. It means they a minor at the time. Okay. But one of them said no. But then it says corruption of a mind. So I don't know. I don't know, K. Rich. It's just really, it was confusing to me, but I'm not going to get that deep into it. I'm not going to get that deep into the woods. They can figure all that out. All we know, he was convicted, okay? Y'all, that's all we know. So we'll deal with that. Yes. I will enjoy my festivities. So yes, so make sure that you guys are supporting the channel. I appreciate you. We are at 20,200 subscribers. So I appreciate you guys for joining us and coming over here and hanging out in the sanctuary for a little while. Let's see. There was something else I was going to tell you guys, but I think I forgot. So it must not be important. It must not be important. Let's say congratulations to Bishop Marvin Sapp for his first grandchild. And they named it after his wife who passed away, Melinda Janae. So they named the girl after his wife. And I thought that was so touching. So we are saying congratulations to Bishop Marvin Sapp. All right. And listen, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas from the Keys. Now, I'm trying to figure out who this woman. I ain't never seen this woman. And this is John P. Key's wife. Now, I think it's about his third wife or what have you. Boy, I tell you, they slip in and out quick, don't they? They be sitting there going to concerts and making music. They slipped right on through our fingers. They just get married and remarried. Thank you so much, Deshaun. I get to see you over there holding down the storefront church over there in Facebook. She be over there chilling out. But yeah, I'm like, who is this woman? Yeah, but it is what it is. Congratulations and Merry Christmas from Pastor John and Devian Key. He said, who is she? You don't know 1, 2, or 3. I don't either. I ain't never seen them. Is it old? Well, of course, it's an old name for a baby, Melinda. It's definitely an old name. But when it's your mother's name and and you have the first grandchild and it turns to be out a girl, you probably name her Melinda. You probably do. Yeah. You had to go to the church website like, what? Where'd she come from? Where in the world did she come from? Oh my God, I tell you. Listen, everybody, we are still supporting our wonderful songstress herself, Miss Anita Wilson. And she will be in Atlanta, Chicago, Philadelphia, and St. Louis for her covers and catalog concerts there at the City Winery all around the country. So make sure you are going to citywinery.com and getting your tickets. And hey, if you're in St. Louis, you will see St. James in St. Louis. I'm going to go to her St. Louis show on January 24th. So we will have a wonderful time in St. Louis. But get your tickets at either the citywinery.com and click on the Atlanta, Chicago, Philadelphia, and also in St. Louis. All right. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let's see. This is for somebody out there. That was a double shake over there. My God. All right, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stick around for our announcements and govern yourselves accordingly. God bless you. Have a wonderful Friday night. still brought me through. If that's your testimony this morning, help us say he'll make that. Won't he do it? Won't the Lord do it? Won't he, won't he, won't he, won't he, will. Hey, whatever the problem, whatever the situation, I come to tell you this morning, God will. He will bring you out. Yes, he will, yes, he will, yes, he will. He will bring you out. Hey, everybody clap your hands. I need a couple of people that know he'll bring you out. Clap your hands like you believe it this morning.